Well, YMCA Camp Widjiwagon, and their first priority, of course, was their campers, their safety, but their second priority, their historic wooden canoes. The camp worked with fire officials to come up with a plan to preserve these canoes. Also have canvas. They're incredible to see and look at. And that plan included sinking the canoes on purpose to the bottom of Burntside Lake. Joining me now is YMCA Camp Widjiwagon Executive Director Ben Hoffman. Ben, nice to have you joining us. Good morning to you.
Thanks for having me, Tom. Good to be here.
My pleasure. Let's talk about how you came about this decision to sink the canoes, because obviously you don't want to lose something as historic as these beautiful canoes.
That's right, Tom. And thankfully, what we were planning is that, what makes Widji, and that is our shortened version for Camp Widjiwagon. And after we, determined that the safety of our campers and staff were ready, we wanted to look at what are the artifacts, what are those pieces of Widji that if we were to lose them, would change the way our camp operates. And these wood canvas canoes are a part of our history. They're a part of our culture, and they're a part of our legacy. So in that, we decided our 205 boat fleet, we would need to take those as a priority. And so we moved an enormous amount of our boats off-site, as well as saying we have a number of boats, in this case, these 19 that need greater repairs, that we would take them and we'd put them in the bottom of the lake for us to be able to remove them when we're ready to make sure they can float the waterways again.
That's incredible. We're looking at an aerial picture of the sunken canoes here. Did you just use rocks? Did you use cement weight? What did you use to get them down to stay at the bottom of the lake?
Good question. These boats, inherently what's at the root of our mission is respect. Respect for ourselves, respect for each other, respect for nature, and importantly, respect for the equipment. So any person that has done a canoeing trip with Camp Widjiwagon knows that those boats only touch air and water. So for us, it was a very gentle process.
Mm-hmm.
We would turn each boat on its side, allow them to sink slowly to the bottom of the lake, and where there was free from rocks on the bottom, we would place rocks inside the boat.
Yep.
That would kind of weigh them down, two in the bow and then in the stern, and had that anchor hulls, just so there's no real shakes with the water turbulence, and then being able to tie them all together to the shoreline as we made sure that we were able to take care of them until they were ready to come out.
What a process. I mean, my goodness, you could tell it was obviously a labor of love in doing this to make sure you could preserve them. How far back do these canoes date, and why are they so special to your camp?
Great question. The oldest boats that we have on site are from 1903 and 1906, owned by Joe Cordiga's family.
Yeah.
Indeed, and all of our boats are numbered. And so you'll see, sort of Widji, 205. We also have Widji number 2. Wow. And so for us, wood canvas canoes, they offer people a different way of travel. It's quiet. And the way that you ride in the water waves allows you to experience nature in a completely new and different way. So for us, it's a critical part of what we do. And that way, we kind of continue wood canvas canoeing really for the perpetuity of what we have here at camp. So it's something that makes it special, but also it's just resounding within our mission and with our entire community.
That is really something, and I can see why you want to preserve them so badly. Just give us an idea where your camp is located and which fire would be the nearest one to you. How close is it to your camp?
Good question. So we're on the north arm of Burntside Lake in Ely. And we are, the campfire and the bear trap fire are the ones that are closest to us. They're within 10 miles. And so we're working closely with emergency officials and continuing our emergency response plans to make sure that our camp is safe. So we have a wildfire suppression system that covers all of our buildings, as well as our property team and seasonal staff that have stayed on property to help prepare by clearing brush, cutting down trees, while also maintaining our forest stewardship plans and just creating this place as prepared as it can be for it, because we want campers to come back. We want to be able to travel the waterways, and because we've been doing it since 1929. And so to have this interruption in program is disappointing and it's frustrating, but we also know there are just certain things out of our control. So right now we're just continuing to look at our emergency plans, as well as what we can do to get more people out on trail. And so that's looking at reroutes and alternative options. We're continuing to look at trip capacities in the future to be able to add more people, and also travel to areas that aren't affected by current wildfire activity. And that all is while we're monitoring our wildfire activities, air quality, weather, and staying in regular communication with the U.S. Forest Service, Ontario Parks, and all of our other land agency partners, because we truly are, relationship driven. And so that means that our partnerships is who we lean on for this as we continue to figure out the best path forward.
I'm just curious, have you been checking on the canoes to make sure they're okay and you're just kind of getting a visual of them submerged at the bottom of the lake?
That was another good question. We've actually taken 2 boats out recently just to assess kind of what is the water doing right now. And overall, the boats are holding up very well. And so, it just kind of, is another validation of what we decided to do at that time, because it wasn't just our wood canvas canoes. We have campers that travel for over 38 days in the Arctic Circle. And so when those campers come back, they have, specialty items called our hats and our sashes. And we have those dating back to the 30s. And so we decided to remove all those as well. And so we just continue to exercise all the principles of our mission and our history to make sure we maintain that and just taking protection. So then we can continue to maintain our programming when we can get back out.
Right. And as soon as you get the all clear from those folks who are fighting the wildfires and that you're going to be safe where you are, how soon do you think you would be able to allow campers to return to your camp?
For us, we have a team that's embedded in the culture of Widgie, and wilderness travel really is about leadership skill development, resilience, and then understanding what our capacity is. And I have a phenomenal team. And so that team has been hard at work just preparing for all the different alternatives that come up. So we're hoping to be able to welcome back campers very quickly when we ideally get out of our evacuation phases, as well as our other YMCA the North camps like Camp du Nord.
Well, it's such a great area for people who have ever been up to your neck of the woods in Ely. We used to camp in Bearhead Lake State Park with our family. Our girls caught their first fish there. It's just a beautiful area and such great people. We wish you all the best, Ben. And what an incredible act of sinking these canoes to save them. It's just incredible. What a story. And thanks for sharing it with us this morning. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Tom. I think that really for us, we've gotten wonderful comments from our community right now. So we just ask, for people to keep sharing them. If you haven't been connected with Camp Widjiwagon in a while, please reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. We're also looking to, continue to share those stories. And also, we're going to be looking for opportunities to continue to fundraise this year to account for any equipment loss. So our entire YMCA the North camps are going to be working towards, new goals to make sure that we can continue our missions, in the future.
Excellent. Is there a website, or where can people go right now if they'd like to help out?
Great, Tom. Thanks. Yep, we do have a relief website that we have, and happy to share that. So then we can continue to express the support needs that we have. And I really appreciate you asking that question.
You bet. All right, Ben Hoffman, Executive Director of Camp Widgie, and we wish you all the best. We'll check in when we get the all clear. We'll check in again.
We'll look forward to it, Tom. Thanks again.
Thank you. All the best. That is just, wow, what a story.